We've all got certain muscle groups, calves, that just don't grow as quickly as others. However, there is usually a scientific reason as to why you aren't seeing such good muscle growth responses from certain muscle groups. And here is a simple 5-step audit that you can use to figure out exactly what can be done in order to progress those weaker points of your physique. Essentially, we need to look at your training intensity. So we need to be able to make sure we can train that target muscle close to failure, very close to failure, without shifting emphasis. We need to be training with sufficient volume, so a minimum of 10 sets per week, anyway up to 20 is typically going to be considered ideal. If you're doing less than this, it's probably a reason you're not growing, and many people are. Then we need to look at the frequency that we are distributing that volume across the week. Try and do all 20 sets of hamstrings for myself in one day would probably lead to some pretty crappy and low quality junk volume sets. So make sure we distribute it across 2 to 3 basically portions of volume across the week. We need to look at range of motion. Are we training through a full stretch and full range of motion, or are we training through partial ranges of motion? And then the final point that we need to consider when we're thinking about why a movement might not be progressing is that you may be tagging it on at the very end of your workouts when you've got very little energy. And this is a really common crime for people who've got terrible calves.